Imagine this. You're stuck in a loop. Every morning you wake up knowing that there's something you're not doing, something you've been telling yourself to change, but you can't seem to get past it. A weak habit, a nagging mindset that's holding you back from everything you're capable of. The truth, that habit, that weakness, it's not just something that exists in your life. It's a reflection of your own complacency, your unwillingness to evolve. But here's the thing. You have the power to kill that weak habit. You have the strength within you to break free from the chains you've allowed to bind you for far too long. Welcome to Stoic Techniques, where we dive deep into Stoicism and the practical application of ancient wisdom to reshape your modern life. If you're ready to break free, to transform yourself, and to conquer the internal obstacles standing between you and your greatness, this channel is for you. So, if you want to embrace a stronger, more resilient version of yourself, hit that like button, comment below with your empowering phrase, and let's dive in. Number 1, the silent killer. Weak habits. Imagine waking up every morning, staring at the mirror and seeing the same version of yourself, stuck, stagnant, and weighed down by weak habits that you've tolerated for far too long. These habits don't shout for attention. They don't come with flashing red lights. Instead, they're silent killers, slowly eroding your potential, your success, and your peace of mind. But what exactly are these weak habits? They're the ones that you think won't matter. Those small, seemingly harmless actions or inactions that you keep repeating day after day. A weak habit is a behavior you know doesn't serve you, yet you indulge in it anyway. It could be procrastination on important tasks, self-doubt, negative thinking, or even letting distractions rob you of your time. Perhaps you tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "It's just a small thing." But deep down, you know it's not just small, it's toxic. Over time, it becomes a part of you, a reflection of your inability to change, to evolve, and to take control of your life. This is where the Stoics come in. The Stoics understood the deep connection between our thoughts and our actions. They recognized that weak habits stem from our impulses and desires, but they also taught us that we have the power to choose differently. It all starts with awareness. If you're not aware of your weak habits, you can't do anything about them. They'll continue to feed off your energy and time, until one day you'll look back and wonder why you're still stuck in the same place. The first step in killing weak habits is recognizing them. Ask yourself, what are the habits that drain me? What am I doing every day that prevents me from becoming the person I know I can be? Is it mindlessly scrolling through social media, avoiding important conversations, or letting fear of failure stop me from acting? These are the habits that weaken your mind, your body, and your resolve. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is that we cannot control external events, but we can control our reactions to them. Weak habits are often a result of uncontrolled reactions, reacting to life rather than responding with discipline. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you let weak habits dictate your life, you're reacting to them, allowing them to steer your ship. But as a Stoic, you have the power to steer your own ship. You don't have to be a passenger in your own life. So how do you begin to change this? The key is self-awareness and self-discipline. The next time you reach for that phone, or when you procrastinate on something important, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this behavior in alignment with the person I want to become? Is this action leading me toward growth, or is it holding me back? The Stoics would remind us that every moment is an opportunity for growth. You don't need to wait until tomorrow. You can begin today, right now, by choosing to take control. By recognizing the weak habits that have crept into your life, you begin to strip away the false sense of comfort they provide. The power is in your hands to eliminate them one step at a time. Remember, every great transformation starts with a single decision. The decision to stop tolerating weakness, to stop making excuses, to stop letting small habits control your destiny. So, take a moment to reflect. What weak habit are you going to kill today? What change can you make right now to take control of your life? What weak habit have you been tolerating in your life? Comment below with a phrase that motivates you to take action today. Let's begin this journey together. Number 2, the enemy within, your ego and comfort zone. Have you ever wondered why it feels so hard to break free from weak habits? You wake up determined to change, only to fall back into the same patterns, because there's an enemy within you, quietly sabotaging your growth. This enemy is not some external force, not a circumstance beyond your control. It's your ego and your comfort zone. They're the silent, invisible chains that hold you back from becoming the person you were meant to be. And believe me, they're stronger than you think. Your ego is not just some harmless aspect of your personality. In fact, it's often the source of many of your weak habits. The ego feeds off validation, approval, and the need to feel right. It resists change because change threatens its dominance. The ego wants things to stay the same, to keep you in a bubble of familiar behaviors and predictable outcomes. It's afraid of discomfort, failure, and above all, vulnerability. The moment you decide to confront your weak habits, your ego kicks in, telling you that it's too hard, too risky, or too much work. This is where your comfort zone comes into play. The comfort zone is a psychological space where you feel safe, but it's also the place where growth dies. You see, your comfort zone doesn't care about your future, your goals, or your potential. It just wants to keep you comfortable. And that comfort often comes at the cost of your dreams. It's easy to stay where things are predictable, where there's no challenge, no risk, no discomfort. But this safe space is also where weak habits thrive. You avoid discomfort, you avoid change, and you remain stuck. The Stoics understood this, which is why they emphasized the importance of embracing discomfort. They believed that we must willingly step outside our comfort zone to grow. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the very discomfort that your ego and comfort zone try to avoid is actually the gateway to growth and transformation. The key to breaking free from weak habits is learning how to confront your ego and expand your comfort zone. This begins with self-awareness. You have to recognize when your ego is at play, when it's telling you to stay safe, to avoid challenges, to resist change. And then you must choose to move forward anyway, even if it feels uncomfortable. Take a moment to think about this. What are you afraid of? What is your ego protecting you from? The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of stepping into the unknown. Whatever it is, it's all a product of the ego and your comfort zone. To break free from weak habits, you must challenge these fears, face them head on, and push through the discomfort. This doesn't mean you have to make radical changes overnight. It's about taking small, consistent actions that stretch your comfort zone. For example, if procrastination is your weak habit, don't aim to suddenly become a productivity machine. Instead, challenge yourself to take one small step today, whether it's writing for 10 minutes or organizing a task you've been avoiding. Each small action is a victory over your ego and comfort zone. As you start to break free from your ego's grip, you'll begin to see just how powerful you really are. Your comfort zone will no longer define you. Instead, you'll start to see discomfort as a tool for growth, and your weak habits will slowly lose their power over you. If you're ready to face your ego and push through discomfort, comment your phrase below, and let's rise above it together. What are you ready to conquer today? Number 3, the lie of motivation. Discipline is your true power. Let's be real for a moment. How many times have you waited for motivation to hit before taking action? You tell yourself, once I'm motivated, I'll get started, or I'll do it when I feel inspired. The truth is, motivation is a lie, a fleeting spark that burns bright for a moment, only to fizzle out when the going gets tough. So many people get trapped in this cycle of waiting for motivation to magically appear, but here's the harsh reality. Motivation won't save you. It's discipline that will transform your life. In the world of Stoicism, discipline is the cornerstone of personal growth. The Stoics knew that relying on motivation alone is a recipe for failure. The moment motivation fades, so does your ability to act. But discipline is reliable, it's consistent. It's the quiet force that drives you to take action, even when you don't feel like it, even when the odds are stacked against you. This is why Stoics like Epictetus placed such a high value on it. He didn't wait for motivation to strike. He simply acted because he understood that true power comes from doing what's necessary, not what's comfortable or convenient. Think about it. Motivation comes in waves. Some days you're pumped, excited to tackle everything on your to-do list. But on other days, you feel like doing nothing at all. If you only relied on motivation, you'd be stuck in a constant state of inconsistency. This is where discipline becomes your greatest ally. Discipline means showing up when you don't feel like it, doing what needs to be done even when you're exhausted, and pushing through when every part of you wants to quit. Discipline doesn't rely on your mood, it relies on your commitment to your goals and your values. Let's dive deeper into why discipline is the true key to breaking weak habits. When you commit to a disciplined approach, you no longer wait for the right moment to act. You simply do. If you've been trying to quit procrastinating or avoid distractions, waiting for the right burst of motivation is a trap. Motivation will always leave you hanging, but discipline will keep you going, even when the excitement fades. For example, let's say you're working on developing a healthier lifestyle. One day, you might be feeling incredibly motivated to hit the gym, but on other days, you might feel like skipping it altogether. The key to overcoming this inconsistency isn't waiting for motivation to strike again. It's committing to a disciplined routine. Even on the days when you don't feel like it, you show up. You don't need motivation. You need discipline to push through those moments and do the work. Here's where the Stoics really shine. They were masters of discipline because they understood that life doesn't wait for motivation. The world doesn't care if you're feeling inspired or if you're in the mood to work. Life is relentless. But with discipline, you can navigate those challenges without getting swept away by them. You become the person who follows through, who continues to move forward, regardless of circumstances. So how can you start applying discipline in your own life? Begin by setting clear, non-negotiable goals. These aren't goals that you'll work toward only when you feel like it. They're goals you commit to, no matter the external conditions. Next, break those goals down into daily actions. Every small step you take, every habit you form, is a testament to your discipline. Eventually, discipline will become second nature, and your weak habits will begin to dissolve. Are you ready to make discipline your secret weapon? Drop your phrase below, and let's keep this momentum going. How will you build your discipline today? Number 4, crushing the habit. How to eliminate weakness. You've spent time recognizing your weak habits, and now it's time for action. There's no more waiting, no more making excuses. If you truly want to eliminate a weak habit, you need to become ruthless in your approach. Weak habits don't disappear on their own, and they certainly won't give up without a fight. It's time to confront them head-on and remove them from your life for good. The first step in crushing a weak habit is to stop waiting for motivation to strike. It's easy to tell yourself, I'll work on this when I feel more inspired, or I'll try again tomorrow. The problem with this mindset is that motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. But action doesn't depend on motivation. It depends on discipline, consistency, and the decision to act even when you don't feel like it. This is where the Stoic principle of virtue comes in. Stoicism teaches that virtue is about making the right choice, no matter how hard or uncomfortable it is. So when you decide to eliminate a habit, the time to start is right now. There's no need to wait. Every moment you hesitate, the weak habit gains more power over you. The Stoics believed in taking immediate action in the face of adversity. In fact, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "Don't waste time thinking about what you'll do. Just do it." To truly crush a weak habit, you need to engage in immediate action. If procrastination is holding you back, take the first step. Open the document, write the first sentence, and stop overthinking. It doesn't matter how small the step is. What matters is breaking the inertia. Procrastination is a habit that thrives on delay. The more you delay, the harder it becomes to get started. But if you take action, even if it's just for 5 minutes, you start to break the cycle. And over time, that habit starts to lose its grip on you. Another way to crush weak habits is to reframe your thinking. Every weak habit is rooted in a mindset that justifies it, whether it's the belief that "I deserve a break" when you know you should be working, or "I'll be fine tomorrow." Reframing this thought helps you see the truth. Weak habits aren't rewards. They're traps. The Stoics use the technique of reframing to challenge their impulses and desires. For example, instead of thinking, "I deserve to give in," think, "I deserve to be the person who overcomes this challenge." Reframing your mindset can significantly weaken the grip of bad habits. However, reframing alone won't do the job. You must monitor your actions and remain vigilant. This is where discipline comes in. In Stoicism, discipline isn't just about strength. It's about constant awareness and self-control. You have to notice when you're slipping back into old habits and catch yourself before they gain control. Consistency is the final piece of the puzzle. Eliminating weak habits isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. You won't perfect it overnight, but every time you resist the urge to give in, you strengthen your willpower. Keep going, even when it feels like nothing is changing. The Stoics believed that the path to true virtue was a long one, but it was one worth walking. Let's crush these weak habits together. Drop your powerful phrase in the comments and take action. What step will you take today to eliminate your weakest habit? Number 5, the dark side of comfort. Why you should fear it. Comfort is a double-edged sword. On the surface, it seems harmless, even inviting. Who doesn't want to relax, to avoid stress, and to stay in a space where everything feels safe and easy? The truth, however, is much darker than we often realize. Comfort is one of the most insidious forces that keep us trapped in weak habits. It feels good in the moment, but it subtly robs us of our potential. It prevents growth, stunts progress, and ultimately leads to stagnation. When we talk about comfort, we're not just referring to physical ease, like lounging on the couch or taking a nap. We're talking about the comfort of the mind, the mental and emotional space we create when we avoid discomfort at all costs. It's the habit of procrastination, the resistance to difficult tasks, and the desire to avoid challenging conversations. Comfort is what tells you to put off your dreams until tomorrow. It's the reason why you choose the easy route, even if it means sacrificing your long-term happiness. The Stoics understood that comfort, in all its forms, is the enemy of growth. In fact, the Stoics feared comfort. They knew that if they stayed too comfortable, they would lose their edge, their ability to adapt, to push themselves, and to find strength in adversity. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, taught that true freedom comes not from the absence of discomfort, but from our ability to face it head-on. He said, Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The Stoics didn't crave comfort because they knew that comfort would rob them of the very thing they needed to survive in a chaotic world: strength. When you choose comfort, you become complacent. You stop challenging yourself. You stop striving for better. And over time, this complacency leads to weak habits. You might avoid exercise because it's uncomfortable, even though you know that your body needs it. You might avoid difficult conversations with loved ones or colleagues, letting resentment build simply because addressing the issue is uncomfortable. You might avoid tackling your goals because they seem overwhelming. But here's the hard truth. Comfort doesn't allow you to grow. It holds you back, like a chain keeping you anchored in place. If you truly want to break free from weak habits, you need to learn to embrace discomfort. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your ally. Discomfort forces you to grow, to expand, and to push through the limits you've placed on yourself. It's the feeling you get when you step into a new challenge, when you take on something you've never done before. It's the feeling of pushing through that extra set at the gym when you think you can't do another rep. It's the feeling of tackling that difficult task, even though you feel uncertain. The Stoics taught us that we should seek out discomfort, not avoid it. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The challenges, the obstacles, and the discomfort you face aren't there to break you. They're there to make you stronger. Every time you push past the discomfort, you become a little more resilient, a little more capable, and a little closer to eliminating those weak habits. To eliminate weak habits, you must train yourself to face discomfort. Start small. Take the harder route in life, even if it's uncomfortable at first. Choose the difficult task over the easy one. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone and do it regularly. Over time, what was once uncomfortable will become your new normal, and the weak habits that once held you back will begin to fade. Are you ready to break free from your comfort zone? Let me know your empowering phrase in the comments. What challenge will you face today that pushes you to grow? Number 6, the final transformation, living the Stoic life of strength. This is it, the moment where your transformation takes shape. After confronting weak habits, battling your ego, and embracing discomfort, you're standing at the threshold of a new life, a life grounded in discipline, resilience, and the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. But transformation doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with a single decision or by a single act of willpower. It's the result of consistent, disciplined actions over time. The final step is committing to live this new version of yourself every single day. The Stoic life is not an easy one. It's not for the faint of heart. It's about embracing challenges, facing discomfort, and striving to be better, not just for yourself, but for the world around you. The Stoics believed that our purpose in life is to be virtuous, to live with honor, integrity, and strength of character. This is the foundation of Stoic philosophy, that we can control our reactions, our actions, and our attitude toward what life throws at us. And it's through these very principles that you'll finally kill those weak habits and become the person you were always meant to be. The final transformation comes when you stop making excuses and fully commit to living a Stoic life. This means adopting a mindset that prioritizes what you can control. You no longer let external circumstances dictate your actions. The moment you wake up, you set the tone for your day by asking yourself, what can I control today? This simple shift in mindset is incredibly powerful. It allows you to stop reacting to the world and start taking proactive action. Living the Stoic life also means being brutally honest with yourself. If you've been slipping back into old habits, acknowledge it. Don't hide from the truth. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that the greatest enemy we face is our own self-deception. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it, he wrote. The Stoic way requires self-awareness and the courage to change. It's about seeing yourself clearly and making the necessary changes without excuses. Consistency is key to this transformation. You're not looking for perfection, you're looking for progress. The Stoics knew that life would never be free of challenges, but instead of retreating into comfort, they faced these challenges head-on. Each obstacle was an opportunity to improve, to refine their character, and to align more closely with virtue. To live the Stoic life of strength, you need to embrace these daily challenges, not just as obstacles to overcome, but as opportunities to grow. Strength isn't built in the absence of difficulty, it's built in the presence of adversity. The more challenges you face, the stronger you become. And as you become stronger, you will see your weak habits fade into the background. They'll have no place in your life anymore because you've replaced them with actions that align with your true purpose. This transformation also involves accepting that setbacks will happen. You will fall, you will slip, but this is part of the process. The Stoic mindset doesn't celebrate perfection, it celebrates resilience. The ability to rise every time you fall is what sets the Stoic apart. So, when you face a setback, don't be discouraged. Use it as an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to your Stoic path. Strength is not found in avoiding failure, but in learning to stand taller after each failure. This is your time to transform your life. Drop your empowering phrase in the comments and let us know how you're committing to live the Stoic life today. Like this video if you're ready to make strength your new normal, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to continue on your journey of transformation.